So the guy who releases every day, he wakes up in the morning depressed, miserable. He has to pull himself out of bed, walk over to the no, before he pulls himself out of bed, he's got to grab his phone. He's got to scroll through Instagram and look at the models that he'll never be with. And then he's got to make a real effort to pull himself out of bed. He's got to walk over to the shower. He's got to go into the hot shower. It's never cold, of course, the way it should be. He goes to the warm shower. Then he's got to drink a large cup of coffee to get himself going. He mopes on over to the office or to class or whatever. Doesn't talk to anybody, doesn't say hi to anybody, doesn't make eye contact, sits in his phone all day like this, mopes on home, jerks off to a screen, goes to sleep, wakes up and does it all over again. And that's basically his life. Now, I'm not even judging this guy because that literally used to be me. I would spend long amounts of time laying in bed, depressed, on my phone, doing whatever. You know, if I didn't have to be anywhere, I would still force myself to do my responsibilities, but if I didn't have to be anywhere, I'd basically just be laying in bed. And it's a sad life, and a lot of men nowadays, that's kind of how we live. And what I've come to realize is that when you start retaining, you get this sort of very natural energy, this natural sort of motivation and ambition. And it's not like the same as when you drink coffee and then all of a sudden you have all this energy. This energy, you can't even describe it. It's just, and it doesn't come and go really. Like once you get to a certain point on your retention journey, it's gonna just always be there. You know, like I said, I was very depressed. Now I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to take on the day. I'm ready for the day's challenges. I have a list of things I need to get done. I like to wake up, I journal, I write a little bit, I meditate, exercise if I'm feeling it. It used to never be like that. It used to just be a lonely, sad, depressed life. So that's the thing. The energy thing is so real. And that's the thing, like, I used to be a huge skeptic. I'm a skeptic by nature. I don't believe anything I hear just on the internet. Like, I gotta do things for myself in order to prove that it works. And even for a long time, even when I was practicing retention, like, I still would be like, I don't know, is it just in my head? Is it just a placebo? But I think I can confidently say after doing this for like 3-4 years that it's not. Because I've done different bouts of semen retention, and it's always the same type of energy. I have it right now. You just kind of like, you just physically, like, I get this like vibrating feeling in my body. Not a lot of things can bring me down or cause me to want to just like go retreat to my bed. Like, it just doesn't happen anymore. And is it just semen retention? I don't know. Maybe not. But it's a combination of a lot of things. You know, I'm realizing for me, I mean, like, I feel like the fucking thing from Bugs Bunny. I'll put a picture on the screen. This fucker. Like, I literally am just, I go on these really long, intense walks. If I sit down to do some work, to come up with some content ideas, like, I'll just sit for hours. Like, whatever I do, I just have this abundance of energy that I can put into it. But the one thing I am realizing that is, sometimes it is hard for me to pay attention to things, like, because I'm just so all over the place. Like, I feel like a little kid, like, I just want to run all around. So I am trying to find some ways to sort of harness that energy. You know, I don't really lift anymore. I used to be really into lifting, but I haven't been doing that as much. So I do kind of want to get back into that. It's just a pain in the ass for me to get to the gym nowadays, but you know, yoga is another good one. Going on runs. I like to go on runs sometimes. Like I said, going on long walks. That's something I love to do now. I go on long walks, maybe listen to some music, or maybe just think. But sometimes I find myself using the long walks as kind of a way to distract myself from my responsibilities. And that's something you got to be careful with. So I would say that I'm living proof that you can go from living a very terrible, boring, depressed life to living a fairly exceptional life. Now, Is my life amazing? No. I mean, like, I still have my struggles, and I'm very honest and vulnerable with you guys. Like, I still have my problems in life, my things I want to work on. Financially, I would like to be a little bit better. Would like to have more connections in life. But the thing is, I'm getting there. Like, when I compare that's the thing, like, don't get stuck comparing yourself to everyone else. You have to just compare yourself to where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And when I look back at who I was a couple years ago, I'm living like a fucking king right now. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, don't worry about these millionaires on the internet and what everyone else is doing. Just focus on you, your journey, and make sure that you're making progress every single day. A little bit every day. I heard a quote recently. It's something like, Rome wasn't built in a day, but they laid brick every day. And that's kind of the attitude you have to have going into this. One thing I wanted to say was, it's okay, I think, personally, to watch a lot of content on this in the beginning when you're first really trying to quit. Because I've realized for myself that anytime that I would go to maybe have an urge to watch porn, I would immediately just go to YouTube and watch videos like this, like guys talking about semen retention or like the motivational videos, and it really helps a lot. So in the beginning, I sort of developed an addiction to that. It kind of replaced the porn and masturbation addiction, which I think is okay for a period of time. Obviously, you don't want to just lay in bed all day just watching videos on this stuff. Like, you want to push yourself to get out and do more things. But I know for me that was extremely helpful, and it would often sometimes direct my attention away from, the porn and stuff. So find some content creators that you like and, watch their content. And if that's something that you need to do right now, consistently, even if you got to get addicted to it a little bit, personally, I don't see a problem with that. But you got to be willing to eventually break that addiction so you can get your life in order and you could start getting out there and, creating the life that you really want.